Alright, welcome back to another league race. This time we're with TMC Division 3, and this time we are in Belgium for round 13, I believe. Anyways, just loading into the lobby here, just checking the weather as standard, and the weather you can see is heavy rain to start, heading into intermediate conditions, and then dry by the end of the race. So that's always fun. So it's through everything for loops straight away. I want to gear. Looks like for the most part it was going to be geared towards wet running. So, want to gear that to the setup. So with a little help from Stephen and the party as well, have put together this just on the fly. Look, I have an idea what to obviously what to turn down slash turn up for wet weather running, but anyways, going to go up to, I believe we're going to run 2.8, well 1.8 wings for qualifying, but turn up to 2 or so for the race. I kind of flip-flopped between 11 and I don't need 11 because it's going to be dry at the end, so it's kind of flipped and flopped between the two. I've actually selected a little 3A for the race, I think. Take the diff off down, put the ride height up, add a bit more of the front roll bar. We'll do that in a bit. Tire pressures will take down as well, so that I had them all the way up. So I had to compromise quite a bit on my setup. So it was difficult. So I've no idea how this is gonna go, but. And I was looking the full wet, I'm on a wheel, no TC. It's difficult. Like it's a tough experience. It's not always an enjoyable one. So it was difficult. But anyways, that's that. So. Did I turn it to 60 in the end, or did I leave it 50, 65? I turned it to 60. Put the roll bars up, a bit more bite into the corners, and go from there. I left the suspension the same, and we can try and get on with it. So heading into this one, I didn't know what to do for expectations. I wasn't sure, but you know what? Just roll it and see what happens. And you know what? If I could get a top 5, historically this has been a difficult. It's been difficult at times track for me through various league races. I've had a couple of DNFs here, in the past in different leagues and such. So this has been a mixed hunting ground. I remember in my first race here in TMC, I got a drive-through penalty. So so mixed kind of stuff. Here is the end of qualifying. Though I only had time for 2 runs because I messed up. I spent so much time trying to get the setup right, and then I messed up my first run. So here is what's going to be. It's a 44-1. Look for a mixed. A setup definitely geared towards a race and the wet. I was not too upset by that, to be honest, but there you go, Stevie G there on pole with a 43.4 and an Extrema behind him. Matt Holmes here in 5th. He's actually going to disconnect just before we get started here, so he's going to be out of the top 5, and behind Ali, and his lag was quite bad at times, so and he was saying himself. So there's the weather forecast. So bump up to 3.8 wings. I could have maybe gone 2 for some of the layer stuff, but nah. Turn the fuel down a little bit. I'm not going to be using it as much, and I'm glad I did this in retrospect. I probably should have turned it down a bit further, but we'll get into that in a little bit. So formation lap was key to warm up the tyres and get a sense of where I could put the power down on the formation lap. But here we go. Then you can see the empty grid slot in front of you. 22 laps of who even knows what. 5 red lights. And away we go. A very tentative start. Sidegate is going to get the better here on my left hand side. I have the inside line, which I prefer for Belgium turn 1. See, Ali leaves plenty of space. I probably upshifted a bit too quickly there, and that kind of stunted my progress. But there goes Sidegate. I believe Ali is on my left hand side. You can see the marker, and I had to back out of that one. Take it nice and easy up Eau Rouge, and threw Ali on for the first time. I was hoping maybe to have a go at Ali here. I put it into hot lap. I should have gone to overtake. I'm not sure what I was doing, but you can see I'm in the slipstream, and he goes defensive. I move back across and just try and settle into the corner. See, braking was difficult. I always see the accident there. I don't know if Ali actually hit him but anyways, I thankfully didn't have any wing damage from that, but thankfully we move up a place anyway. So no wing damage thankfully from that. But the braking, just took a bit to get used to. I need to use a bit softer braking into corners, and so difficult one there. But anyway, so we settled into P6 here where we started. Actually, no, it was one position further than we started. 2.2 seconds behind Ali in that first lap, and just honestly in the way with no TC on a wheel, like obviously with the pedal, it's just tiptoeing, like it really is. So I was convinced that PFCC would actually come back and overtake me. Javier here in the other Alfa Romeo is going to have a moment on up Eau Rouge and through Radion. So he resets the track there, but that's an extra position there for me. So thankfully could slip on through, and that is P5. So see, the grid isn't getting away too much here. You see Ali's on the back of Captain Chubbs here, so you know, he's behind that. Extremist Stevie G a little bit further up the field. So all of a sudden there's a podium to be had in front of me. You know, if there's, I can get past these two cars. But overtaking the West is difficult because the field spread is quite high. You see the kind of part of the problem I have with braking. You can see, but Jeff at this moment is going to suggest he switch to intermediate tyres. So the light rain has kind of come, and it's time to switch to inters. And the more this stint went on, the better I was feeling. The more and more time, I was getting better reps with a better understanding of what I could do and where I could push. So I was beginning to make up time to the cars in front. Ali has to go on because his teammate CVG pits this lap, so this gives us a chance to come in, put on the inters, leave the wings the same. Maybe I should have changed the wings, but look, in the West I'd rather have more grip than not enough of it. So you can see the stuff there, and we can come in, finish off inters, and be on our merry way. Red Bull, nice, out and quick. A little bit of a hole for a PFCC, but nothing mad. So you can go on there. Caesar behind needs to pull into his box. So anyways, still in a nice little place. And then out of the inters now, I feel much better about the inters now than I did about the full wets and the track conditions. But the track conditions were quite good near the end of the wets, so I was looking forward to these now, and you can see what I could push a little bit more. And just the car felt really good, like the setup felt really good. I don't know, it may have been too much on the downforce side of things, but look, I'd rather do that than again not have enough, especially in the wet, where I just want to look. Once I saw that rain on the radar at the qualifying, my mind shifted to holy crap, just survive. Like there's just survive. So that was it. You can see the gap in front to Chubbs, and then Ali, despite us getting in a lap earlier to get the inters, it's not quite enough. And I was hoping I could maybe reel him in with some straight line speeds here. I've got plenty of fuel, plenty of ERS obviously in the wet. Just trying to see what I could do heading up through Eau Rouge with obviously in the wet, in the inters now. See how much more speed I could take off into it. So gaining more and more confidence each lap. So was really happy with how the car felt here, and I wanted to keep going. But lap 7, as I head up the hill once again, Chubbs is going to have a moment here, and that's going to allow Ali through. So Chubbs had some decent pace then, but that's going to allow Ali through. And I just like in the pit stop with Ali, I'm just not close enough to make a move and get the things done. And you can see it hit the back of Chubbs there. Is luckily no damage to be had on my car. So but that was close. But yeah, just that second off or so, between the pit stops, Ali be in front of him maybe, and yeah, just not being able to get the jump on Chubbs after he had his incident. So but just really feeling good. I was able to pull out, I think it was 1 point something or maybe 2 seconds ahead of PFC Steve. Was extending the gap, so like the pace was really good. And heading up now, lap 10, heading up Radion, you can see it's getting, there's a bit of a drier line up here, and the light rain's still there, and you can see the gap 7/10 to Chubbs in front. Just feeling nice with the car though at this stage. And see PFC Steve begin to scrub a bit more speed now this time round, and I'm getting closer and closer to Chubbs at this stage, so I have to brake a little bit earlier, a little bit smoother, but I'm definitely, I feel at this point of the race I'm definitely quicker than Chubbs. At this part of the race, near the end of the intermediates, you can see the rain is basically stopped. I think it has stopped, but at this stage of the race I am much more confident. I'm like, this is good, like I feel really, really good, but difficult to make a move. But lap 11, see the rain has stopped. To see Chubbs is struggling. I am feeling great at this point, and you can see this is the closest I've ever been now at this stage, and Ali's not too far in front either, so this is great. This is a great opportunity. Just heading through Blanchimont though, you can see I have to take my foot off the gas just a bit. At this stage, I'm almost confident to, see a half throttle there through Blanchimont, and like closing speed was good. Like I'm going for it. Like I'm going for this move. You don't get too many moves to make in the wet, and I'm going to make this one, leave some space on the inside. Plenty of space, but I'm going to have better traction on the outside line. Decent run as well out of the bus stop chicane, and a little bit of a wiggle there, but I was afraid that maybe he might crash into me here, because just take it nice and early, nice and easy into this braking zone. But that was a nice move. You don't get too many moves in the wet because of the field spread, but that felt good, and I felt very good about that. So anyways, lap 12, you see we're on now. Later this lap, the Extrema actually pitches, while we're making that overtake, Extrema actually pitches onto dries. It's a little soon, but now, later that lap, the DRS is now enabled. So I'm debating here whether to do mediums or softs. I'm thinking, look, there's 10 or so laps left. I I only have a U set of softs, but they're from a set in qualifying that I only did an out lap on. So I thought, look, if I need to make up stuff here, so look, I'm going to go aggressive. I'm going to go for these softs. So we come in, change the wing down to 2. Maybe I should have gone 1, but alas, come into the box, and my pit crew aren't ready for me. My teammate was in lap of 4 to pit for his dries, and they still weren't ready, and I'm held for a long time, longer than 8 seconds. And the 5 or so seconds I used to try and make up on PFC Steve and beyond is all gone. My Ali Chubb's gone, and that's tough, man, because that's not something in my control. I thought I was driving really well. I was very late on the pit limiter and exit there. I should have been gone a lot sooner there. You can see Caesar right behind me as well on medium. So yeah, that's difficult. It's tough. It's not my teammate's fault, obviously. Extreme has actually lost up the hill, and he's out of this race. So that's a position gone, and it's something that's for now. All of a sudden, I should be chasing for P2 and 3, behind Ali and Chubbs, ahead of Chubbs as well, actually. So that's difficult. That's tough, and 2.4 now behind PFC Steve, and a whole lot more behind Chubbs and Ali. So that was tough, man. That's a tough one to take. So. Anyway, but look, we just have to go on. That's all we can do. But I'm a man on a mission here. Look how far behind I am on PFC Steve. He must get some sort of twitch heading up through Radeon. But I'm no DRS. It wasn't in the activation sub. I'm reeling him in. I'm not taking anything. Like, I'm going for this move because I have to get this done. I'm not waiting around. He leaves the door open, go down the inside. I'm not sure if he was expecting it, but he definitely left the door open, and I'm going down through it. This is aggressive, Graham. Like, I'm going for it. Like, gloves are off. I've lost all that time in the pit stop through no fault of my own. I think I'm the quickest person on the track, and I come across at the fastest lap of the race here. Like, I'm not playing around. Like, this is, you see 6.4 seconds to Chubbs in front, so I'm going for it. So even if these softs burn out, I'm building a big enough gap, so I'm finishing ahead of PFC Steve and Caesar. So lap 19, I've been chipping away. I think there was some damage, speaking of chipping, to Chubbs in front, Caesar, Ali in front. So, but they are still kind of keeping these slipstream with each other. I think they are within DRS. So they set fastest lap because of that. But I felt like genuinely I was like the fastest person on the track at this stage of the race, and to the latter part of the wet stages. Lap 21, you can see I'm still quite a bit behind, but just trying my best to get within 5 seconds, get within 3 seconds. Last lap 1.4 seconds. So the last lap they were really squabbling. Now it's even more so. So I'm right. Like, all this time I've made up now. I should be gone, man. I should be a lot further up the front. I've no penalties, no warnings. I know Chubbs has a penalty, but I thought I knew it was like a 10-second one for like. So I was like, okay, this is gonna be one of those crap nonsense penalties in the wet. So I need to get as close to 3 seconds as possible, and I did that. And heading up through out of Paul Frere, I'm 7/10 behind Ali, and like I'm going to run out of time here. So if I had one more lap, it may have been interesting to see what I could have done. Look, there's a lot of if buts and maybes, mostly surrounding that second pit stop onto drive, but Stevie G wins convincingly in the end, so well done to him. Here, I'm right there. I just need another lap, but it's not going to happen. I'm going to jump Chubbs into P3. I don't know if that will stand. I set the fastest lap on the last lap, but that didn't stand. Javier ended up beating me to that extra point, so that my joy is short-lived. So I don't know if that will actually be a podium by the end of it. But look, I felt a podium, even if I end up finishing 4th after penalties are removed or whatever. I felt the podium was the least I deserved from that race. I felt really good about. Look, I'm super happy with how I drove that race. I was super happy with how the car felt. I was super happy how my start in the opening phase of the race in the wets, how I kind of came back from difficult. I was 2.2 seconds behind Ali in that first lap. Came back from that. Car felt good near the end of that wet stint. Intermediates felt good, felt great near the end of that stint. Made an overtake in the wet. Went hell for leather with the strategy, like ultra aggressive. I felt like I did everything I could this race and everything right, and that I could control. So, look, that's just part of racing. Sometimes, no, I'm sorry, it's not part of racing. That part isn't part of racing. That's Codemasters, But look, that's it. I finished 9 seconds behind Stevie G in the end, and all the time I lost in the pits. Who knows how close it could have actually been for this win? But anyways, that's it, I'm afraid. That's going to do it for round number 13 of Belgium. Next up is Monza. Not a track I have fared well at, but who knows, maybe my fortunes can change. We'll see. Until next time.